Once upon tomorrow. When the true sun dawned on little Jackal, she was sat on a large stone in the middle of a small lake. She hadn't left the broken city the night before, but the broken city had left her. The Jackal had known well of the Green Queen, by reputation at least, but that had not prepared her. That had not prepared any of the residents, part-time or otherwise, of the broken city. It wasn't that the Queen was filled with spite or with malice, and it wasn't that she didn't care. Of this the Jackal was certain. Little Jackal was a lot of things. She was silly and she was reckless. She was flaky, she was flighty, and, at times, she could even be foolish. She was a lot of things that gave a lot of people a lot of reasons to give her a lot of strange looks. But she was not stupid. Her pretty blue eyes drank in more of the world than others realized. She understood more than others knew. And when the Green Queen had laid a soft hand on her dainty head, the Jackal knew more of the woman than perhaps anyone ever had. The lady, in fact, was not unlike herself. Flighty, perhaps, and filled with a wanderlust that could not be satiated by all the world's horizons. She wanted to see every inch of green and grey and brown and pink and every other colour that the earth had to show her. But there was more to her than that. The lady was filled with a purpose beyond little Jackal's comprehension, and the Jackal did not know if that purpose was one of wonder or one of woe. Setting the thought aside, she gingerly stepped from the stone and into the water, testing the depth with the tips of her toes. The lake hadn't been there the night before, and little Jackal wasn't sure what to expect of it. Much like the glade and the forest within which it sat, the body of water had appeared within the rippled green wake of the Green Queen's passage. Royal reputations aside, little Jackal hadn't thought such a thing possible. Of course, before the night before, the list of things she thought possible had been notably shorter. The water was shallow, and little Jackal made her way across it with relative ease. The forest that surrounded it, however, was deep and daunting. Even in the sharp light of sunrise, the woods were dark, their shadows thick. Impossible or not, the sounds and scents of life filled them, and it wasn't only green life that the Jackal detected within. She heard the chirps of birds and the scurry of bugs. She saw the running rustle of leaves as something darted between. She smelled exhaled breaths, and she heard beating hearts. In a single night, the Emerald Lady had spread enough life for years or more. The Jackal watched as a bird, a small sparrow that had never hatched from an egg that had never been laid, roused from a nest it could not have made in a tree that had not existed but one day before, and took flight into the early light of the first sunrise it could ever have seen. Clever though she may have been, these thoughts weighed too heavily on little Jackal's tired mind. She shook her head, raised her snout to the wind, and sniffed for any smell of familiarity.